was a boy, I bit a kid. Let's just get that out of the way. I was 6 or 7. I had this friend, we'll call him Billy, who, is actually somehow still my friend. And if you're wondering how this connects to Mario Galaxy, and not vampires or Twilight or just weird freaking people, hold on. Trust me, it will make sense. Anyways, my friend got bit by me. I bit him. I don't know why. Anyways, autism. Autism has become an epidemic. But the point is, I had to go to his house and apologize. And that's the reason, the only reason, I ended up playing Super Mario Galaxy for the first time. So, I apologized. And for some reason, his mom was just like super chill with it, which is wild. I guess boys just be boys, right? And we got a play date, Remember back in the day when you said play date? It sounds really gay when you put it that way, but play date. Anyways, so I remember I walk into his house, and it's possible I could be mixing a few of these up, but I remember I walk in, and he just has on his Wii the Lego Batman intro, and he's just waiting there. And we're 6 or 7, we're autists, and he's just waiting. We're gonna play Lego Batman. I think it was his mom who was just hey, you should play another game. And what about that Mario game? Your uncle or something got you. And he, brought out his little disc, he had this little square case that had all his Wii discs in it. Had a lot of SpongeBob games. I really loved SpongeBob. I'm sorry. But we had the disc for Super Mario Galaxy. And I don't think he had played it, so I think we first experienced this for the first time together, in that moment, together. And, I was, I guess, a gamer then, kind of. Though, actually, no, I don't think I was. See, until I think a year after that, I wasn't really allowed to play real video games. I wanted to, but I couldn't, because my mom was like, no, you need to learn. You gotta play learning games. So, I had this thing called a V-Smile. I don't know if any of you know what a V-Smile is, but they have an abomination for a controller. It's got a joystick. It's got 4 buttons up there. It's a big button that's way too big. It's kind of like how the GameCube A button is just weirdly big, but stupid. I don't know. No, my favorite game was this game called Shrek's Dragon Tale, and the best part about Shrek's Dragon Tale was the music, because all of it was just ripped bootleg from Ocarina of Time. So, I was playing as when I was 4 or 5, learning basic math, which I'm terrible at math, so I was better at it then, but I don't know. I guess Shrek helped me a little bit get through elementary school math without much problem. I used to be good at it when I was young, and then I don't know what happened. I think it's just quote unquote gifted kid syndrome. You maybe you learn a little faster than everybody else at first, but then everybody else catches up, and you're like, crap, algebra, I can't do that. So, oh boy. So that was my experience with video games. Fun. I was enthralled, just raptured by the worlds you could go into with video games. And then booted up Super Mario Galaxy, and it's just how memorable an opening that was. That Star Festival, we experienced it twice because we got a game over in the first Galaxy, which just, let that sink in. I mean, it sounds so ridiculous saying that as an adult. But, this game was really hard when I was little. But, now, you're running through this opening area where Bowser's coming in on his airships, which I remember being, really bothered by, but also thought it was really cool. Because I know how aerospace dynamics work, and that is not how they work. You can't stick propellers on a pirate ship and make it fly. So, he's shooting, meteors out of his cannons, which I don't know why he's shooting meteors. That's always bothered me. I think it's funny how we managed to get hit by him, and I think it maybe even died in that opening section. And Bowser pulls a Paper Mario. He lifts the castle up into orbit, And, that was great. That was amazing. And then Kamek just decides to, like, who I assume is Kamek, decides to blow me off into space, and I land on a planet, and there's bunnies. And later on this planet is where you get the spin attack, which is really important for this game. I think it's really a nice thing. I kind of don't like it how 3D World, 3D Land don't really have an equivalent to it. It just makes Galaxy a lot more fun to play, in my opinion, because you can do little pause in midair, and also just defeat enemies with it. In Odyssey, you have the cap. You throw the cap, and it's actually, like, in a lot of ways, it kind of functions similarly. Like, you do kind of get that little buffer, I guess, before you fall to your death. Jesse, we need to export the material, the product to the Good Egg Galaxy. Okay, Mr. White, we gotta go. Walter? Mike, what is it? You can't bring this to the Good Egg Galaxy. That's not our territory, Walter. Mike, shut up. Anyways, hello and welcome to Los Pueblos Hermanos. My name is Gustavo, but you can call me Sus. Yeah, totally just gotta get sidetracked there. But these toads, they get trapped in these crystals, and you can't break the crystals. They rectify this in the sequel, actually, kind of, sort of. But in the first game, it's like, it bothered me so much. Because, like, we got a game over after getting the spin attack. Which, you get a game over, you go back to your last save point. And I assume they didn't change this in the Switch version. So, alright, we literally had to start the whole game over and see all the cutscenes again, which is kind of funny. But, not really something you usually experience. But, I'm seeing it's like, darn, like, do I get to come back here and, like, break the crystals? Like, I was familiar with the Lego games. And again, childhood memories. I don't know, like, I definitely had played some of the Lego games. I don't think I owned any of them at the time, but, I'm very used to the idea of, like, free play. You come back to a level with, like, new characters and new abilities, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll come back here later and free those toads, which you never get to do. You do get to go back there, but not for that reason.
Man, bunnies, am I right? That was like the second or third thing on my mind when I first arrived in the Gateway Galaxy. The first being, is Mario dead? He's laying on the ground and he's getting tapped by this little grubby white hand thing. Thankfully not a zombie. Though usually those are green. Though I guess sometimes they're white, but just not that shiny white. Now maybe if it was a vampire from Twilight or something. I've never actually watched Twilight, so here I am talking about Twilight and vampires. I think they did something weird in that. I remember I was once talking to a girl once about Twilight because I was interested in her. So that's my experience with Twilight. I learned that it was very Christian. I heard 50 Shades of Grey is apparently it started as a Twilight fanfiction. But back to Mario Galaxy, because this is why you're here. Of course, maybe you're here for me to ramble chaotically. I don't know. But the star guy turns into a bunny, and he says, chase me. Gotta go run. And, this is the first spherical planet. Initially, they had a Mario 128 tech demo, I think, where they first, in, like, the started the GameCube, where they first started to experiment with this type of gameplay, and it took a few years, but it eventually turned into Mario Galaxy on the Wii. I'm not really sure, like, I don't think the Wii is much more powerful than the GameCube, so it's a little weird they couldn't get it to work on the GameCube, but I don't know, I guess that, like, power boost really made the difference. Not powerful enough to boost it to HD, but yeah, it's like, looking back, the Wii not being HD was a real darn bummer back in the day. Like, I remember I always played the Lego games, but it's just like, you want to play them on Wii, and it's just like, oh, they do not look as good as the other consoles. And one of the best things about, Wii games being brought over to Switch is you get to play them in like HD 4K, 4K now. And that just makes all the difference. Resolution really makes a massive difference. Like, I don't care how crappy the textures are or whatever. Well, I do care. For instance, you go on your planet, you hunt the bunnies, and Rosalina talks to you. You get the spinning attack, which is nice. Like the spinning attack. Like the freaking Luma just dive bombs into your hat, Kamikaze, right? And then you go on a planet, and I remember back in the day playing Super Mario Galaxy. And again, the first time I played the Gateway Galaxy, like, I got a game over on it. And that was pretty demotivating, especially because, again, you had to play the whole intro over. I mean, the devs were just like, well, nobody's going to be that bad at the game where they get a game over. But, when you're just getting used to these spherical planets, it was really hard at first. I remember, like, accidentally going in circles. I guess I should be proud that they didn't mess it up more. Like, that somehow this is playable. But, one of the things I noticed in 4K that, like, I never noticed in, like, the 10 previous times I've played through this intro. I've probably beaten the game, like, 5 to 10 times, though, I'd think. Probably 10. But you see, like, airships holding up one of the planets. The weird mech planets or whatever, where the Grand Star is inside. The area for the Grand Star seems to be a lot bigger than the planet itself. It's a little weird, but I don't know, does Mario shrink? It's like the Pokemon houses. They're always a lot bigger on the inside. But yeah, the air. But with the assist mode, I'm just thinking of this clip from Monk, where you gotta watch Monk. Monk's a great show. It's about like this, not schizo, but like he's super OCD, funny detective guy. Anyways, Monk goes blind in this one episode, and I guess he's on a construction site, and he's walking on a girder, and the girder is just like literally sitting on the ground, right? But Monk, for some reason, doesn't understand that. He thinks he's like 100 feet in the air or some stuff, and he just like starts screaming for help. But yeah, that's kind of how it feels on assist mode, because you jump off, try to jump into the black hole at the start here, where you try to collect the star chips, which is, a memorable point for me. I remember dying there a lot as a kid, a dumb kid. But you jump in assist mode, and you only lose one little bit of your health, which I guess is a bit more balanced. I mean, it was kind of overkill. You just die that easily, I guess. I think it was I think one thing that I was kind of surprised by with assist mode, I'm actually kind of disappointed, was, you start out with the life shroom health, so 6 health. But if you collect another life shroom, it doesn't go up to 9. Like, I was really looking forward to that. Oh man, I hope. Like, I remember, like, 4th grade, I had this painting. I think I still have the painting. It's upstairs. But yeah, like, I drew this painting, and it was like 9. I put 9 health on it, because I'm like, wow, yeah, Mario Galaxy 3 is going to come out on, like, the Super Wii, and it is going to have life shrooms that take you up to 9, because I thought that was really cool. Also, it's a little weird that the Lumas just can turn into bunnies. This is a thing in the first Galaxy game, but I don't think it's really a thing much in the second. I don't think it's ever happens in the second. But one thing about the Gateway Galaxy is you can still see, like, we're really, really, I guess, close to Earth. What I would assume to be Earth, unless somehow Mario got blasted out of his solar system into another planet that happened to look like Earth, where the Gateway Galaxy is in orbit. And the Gateway Galaxy is literally the gateway to the starry sky. So it's definitely Earth. And this is the same planet we see below the Comet Observatory and the Good Egg Galaxy. So we can all assume these things are all pretty close. After busting up Bowser's machine here by like pushing down on all the switches, I don't know why he makes his machines like that. It's like he's waiting for Mario to just come in and mess it all up. Oh man, I gotta make sure I set up my evil machine just right. We're like extracting this pink liquid out of it. I have no idea what we're using it for, but I gotta make sure that it only powers off the blue flip switches that only Mario can turn off. None of my minions can accidentally do it. Brilliant. Anyways, you get the Grand Star. You fly to this completely blackened space station. It was kind of creepy. And there's like a red dwarf little thing in the center. And your star goes in, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's powered up. And part of the observatory turns on. And now you can walk around the observatory. You can go into the black areas, and it's really creepy and unsettling to me. I remember as a kid, I'm like, okay, deep breath. I'm like going to go in and see what the kitchen and the bedroom area is like without the lights. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I had my heart was beating 100 miles per hour. I thought like a monster was going to jump me or something. Again, weird kid, right? We also get introduced to not just Rosalina, but Polari, who is, I can't tell if he's brown or black, which is funny because I've dated a girl like that, like where her hair is just like, is her hair brown or black? Like it took me like 2 months to realize, oh crap, her hair is brown. What the heck? I know. But I was trying to go out with this girl some time ago, a different girl, and it was the same thing. But, her hair was more noticeably brown, but she had black eyebrows. And that's the thing. It's like I remember just randomly noticing that. And I'm just like, in Super Mario, Super Mario, he has like black eyebrows and brown hair. I always thought that was the weirdest thing. That doesn't happen to real people. But there's this girl, and she's pretty, and she looks like that. Suffice to say, she's going to become a nun, and I became heartbroken and started working on this video. So, Riz, am I right?